Love Shackles by Mia. Chapter 2. Our love story was one of the contrasts, a tale of two people from different worlds who defied the odds to be together. The root of our misery. As I reflect on our marriage, I am convinced that Ada's parent played a significant role in the difficulties we faced. Their influence on her upbringing and worldview had a profound impact in our relationship. If she hasn't been exposed to the dysfunction and trauma that marred her childhood, perhaps she would have grown into a confident, well-adjusted young woman. Maybe, just maybe, she would not have drawn to me with the same intensity, driven by a deep-seated need for validation and love. Maybe I would not have been entangled in a trauma bond with her, forever changing the course of our lives. Our marriage was a complex web of emotions, triggered by the unresolved wound of Ada's past. Her parents' toxic dynamics had created a ripple effect, impacting every aspect of her life, including our relationship. I often wonder what our marriage would have been like if Ada experienced a more nurturing, supporting upbringing. Would we have found peace and serendipity in our union? Would our love have flourished untainted by the shadow of her past? These questions haunt me, a reminder of what-ifs that will forever linger in my mind. "Where are you headed, madam?" I asked, my curiosity piqued as I glanced at her in the rearview mirror. Ada's eyes met mine, and for a fleeting moment, I thought I saw a hint of sadness in their depths, but it was quickly replaced by her usual composed demeanor. "To Isle Echo," she said with a smile, her voice firm, "and please call me Ada. Madam makes me sound like I am 50 years old." I chuckled and nodded, feeling a sense of ease wash over me. It was moments like these that I cherished, when the formalities were shed and I caught glimpses of the real Ada beneath the polished exterior. I was captivated by her voice and intrigued by her mysterious demeanor. As we drove through the bustling city of Echo, I occasionally glanced in the rearview mirror, watching as she sat in silence, her eyes fixed on some point outside. I tuned up my radio and the sound of Rick Hassan music filled the air. I could not help but sing along. My voice was far from perfect, but I did not care. The music makes me happy. As we drove, I turned to Ada and asked, "Are you not a fan of Rick Hassan?" She smiled, and for the first time I saw a glimmer of warmth in her eyes. "I am," she said. "Why are you not singing along then?" I teased. Ada smiled again, and this time, she replied with a question of her own. "Do you know that you are really bad at singing?" I laughed, nodding my head in agreement. "I know, but if it makes me happy, I don't care what others think." Ada's smile grew wider, and she began to sing. Her voice was like a nightingale, smooth, melodious, and captivating. We spent the rest of the day driving through the city, singing along to the radio, and laughing together. As evening drew to a close, Ada asked me to drop her off. Before she left, she asked for my number, saying she'd like me to be her personal driver. I agreed, and we made agreement of me driving her to work and back home every day. As I watched her walk away, I felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. I had no idea what the future holds, but I started seeing my life change in ways I never could imagine. Looking back to the very first time I met Ada, I was driving my tricycle in the bustling street of Echo. I noticed a young woman standing by the roadside, her eyes fixed on some distant point. She seemed lost in thought, her mind a million miles away. I pulled over, and she climbed into the tricycle without a word. The first time I saw Ada, the moment I laid my eyes on Ada, I was captivated. It was as if time stood still, and all that existed was her. Her smile, a radiant beam of light, illuminated the world around her. But it was her eyes that truly ensnared me, those mesmerizing black and white orbs that sparkled with an inner light. Their allure was irresistible, and I was forever changed. What if I haven't stopped my tricycle and drove past her? What if I pretended not to see the pain underneath her eyes? Would I have been saved? Would my life had been better? I just can live a day without this thought, yet I couldn't regret the day I met her. Looking at her elegant attire, it was clear that she hailed from a world of the privileged. The realization was a harsh reminder of the vast chasm between us. My heart sank, and my hopes of ever mustering the courage to approach her, let alone ask her out, dwindled to almost nothing. What could someone as refined and sophisticated as Ada possibly see in a humble tricycle rider like myself? I had nothing to offer, no wealth, no status, no influence. She was a precious gem, and I was just a poor man who could not afford her. The bitter taste of reality hit me hard, and I resigned myself to the fact that she was forever out of my reach. I returned back home, exhausted but happy, and was greeted by my pregnant sister, who was sitting outside. I ignored her, still angry at her about her situation, and headed inside to call my younger sister to help me fetch water from the public well.